All right, guys, happy Friday. Today is Starts and Sits Week 9. Going to give you all the optimal players at each position, help you guys crush your leagues. This show is brought to you by Pristine Auction. Sunday Night Football, I'm giving away this speed helmet. It's a Kamara, Alvin Kamara signed speed helmet. Beautiful helmet, guys. And also a Tua jersey, a signed jersey. I've got it right down here. A signed Tua jersey, guys. You can win these, and these winnings are ongoing. These draws are ongoing. To enter, it's very simple, guys. PristineAuction.com. Use promo code SWAGLINE. You're entered for all draws moving forward. You will be tagged if you win on my story mode on Instagram at Fantasy Football Counselor. Amazing giveaways. Sunday Night Football, Week 9, giving these away. Signed Kamara helmet, signed helmet, speed helmet, and the Tua signed jersey. Again, to enter, PristineAuction.com, use promo code SWAGLION. Go do that right now, guys. Let's dive in this show. Starts and Sits Week 9. Going to get you guys fully prepared. Let's do it. All right, guys, welcome to the show. Happy Friday. Listen, Thursday Night Football was exciting. I had Carson Wentz and Pittman in my lineups, and I'm up like, I got to check what I'm up. I'm up like 60 points almost in one of my leagues. I think Carson Wentz in that one league put up like 40 points. Pittman had a great game. I'm up like 60 points. I'm beyond excited, guys. And again, Carson Wentz, a guy that everybody was sleeping on prior to the season. And I said, hey, if he's in a good opportunity, he will succeed as long as he stays healthy. That's been an issue with him. And then Pittman was a wide receiver one. I don't know why anybody didn't see it. Obviously, it's sheep sleep, but they don't see it. He was ranked 59th on the wide receiver rankings. Great game yesterday. And I also told you to stash Elijah Moore and Michael Carter. They've been starting to turn up. It's like Zach Wilson just couldn't get them going. They need other quarterbacks to really display their talent. And, you know, the other quarterbacks have, you know, White and Johnson were out there. So, yeah, exciting for Wentz and Pitts owners, Council Nation, if you guys own them. Wentz is my QB2 in a two quarterback or super flex league, that is. So, again, I'm very excited about their performance on Thursday Night Football. Puts me, light years ahead of the competition. I've actually got Elijah Moore in my other league. He put up over, I think, 24, 25 points. So, super exciting stuff. Now, I got to tell you guys, this show is brought to you by mybookie.ag. Head on over there, guys. Mybookie.ag. Use promo code FFC. This is what I use to enhance my game watching experience. They will double your first deposit as well. Huge opportunity, guys. Mybookie.ag to enhance that game watching experience. I use it, and it makes games a lot more fun to watch. Okay, mybookie.ag, guys. Promo code FFC when you sign up for Fantasy Football Counselor FFC, and they'll double your first deposit. There's some other perks with that code. Go check it out, guys, including I'm giving away signed sports cards. So if you enter mybookie.ag, promo code FFC, I'm going to get you guys in the card draws. And finally, guys, manscaped.com, promo code ShowerLion. Fit and finish is amazing. I've been using their body wash shampoo. Phenomenal. Head on over to manscaped.com. Shower Lion. All right, starts and sits at each position. Let's dive into it, guys. Let's start off with the quarterback position. Now, a lot of people asking me about Jordan Love. Do you start him? Now, in DFS, he's good value, $4,400 year long. I'm a little bit suspect about him. Good matchup versus position. I got to tell you that. Kyler Murray, I understand that. I think he's going to be a game time decision. Just watch his situation. I'm not a Kyler Murray owner, but we know he's banged up a little bit. He does have an easy matchup if he plays. Taysom Hill does have an easy matchup versus Atlanta, but again, we're going to have to see how that offense, is he going to get the full workload? Is he going to be the guy the whole time? That's the thing. I think it's going to be a bit of a committee there. And at the end of the day, man, I don't trust Taysom Hill to be a starter anyway. I mean, unless you're desperate for a quarterback, be cautious. He does have a good matchup, though. Love Joe Burrow versus Cleveland. Definitely a start this week. Josh Allen, a must start, but in DFS, you get to pay a little bit more. He's $8,200. But love Josh Allen this week, guys. Absolutely love him versus Jacksonville. Tua, I mean, if you need a quarterback, he does have a good matchup this week. Matt Stafford and Teddy Bridgewater, the guys with the easy matchups, okay? A lot of people asking about, like, Jalen Hurts, tough matchup. Matt Ryan, tough matchup. But these guys have been relatively consistent. You know, Jalen Hurts, 11 points last week, but prior he had a 25-pointer and a 26-pointer. And then Matt Ryan had 8-pointer last week and then 22-25. So both of them have been relatively consistent, just had bad weeks the last time they played, and they've got tough matchups this weekend. So both Jalen Hurts, Matt Ryan, unless you have a better option, maybe consider sitting them. But again, if they're your starters, you can't. Justin Herbert, his hand was banged up. I think he should still be playing. He's got a tough matchup, too, against Philly. Ryan Tannehill has got it in tough versus the Rams, who are now a little more stacked defensively, if you guys know. Ryan Tannehill, again, 9th hardest matchup versus position. Lamar Jackson's got it in tough versus Minnesota, and along with Pat Mahomes, 11th hardest versus position versus Green Bay. Just something to be aware of, you know. And again, when I say tough matchups, and you could say sit them, but again, if they're your starting quarterback, you can't sit them. Okay, so again, Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Matt Ryan, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Tannehill, Pat Mahomes, a little bit on the tougher side. More like sits if you had to, but they'll perform well. You know how it is, guys. This is based on matchup, okay? Now, looking at the running back position, Boston Scott's got a great matchup. He's definitely a start this week. I know there's been a lot of situations, with Sanders being out, who's the guy? Looks like Boston Scott's going to get the work there, and he's got a good matchup. Austin Eckler's got a good matchup this week, okay, versus Philly. Definitely a guy you want to consider, and definitely a guy that surprised me, and he plays with a lot of heart, so I got to give Austin Eckler credit, okay? Not exactly my Naji, but, he's doing good. Dalvin Cook, terrible week last week, has been terrible all season in general. This is a guy everybody was high on. I said, I don't trust him, doesn't finish seasons, gets hurt. Sure enough, he got hurt, missed some time, cost you points, and now this, right? He's just not performing well. Playing Baltimore does have an easy matchup, okay? Devante Booker does have an easy matchup. If you guys are Saquon owners and you're like, do I start Devante Booker? He's got a good matchup, okay? He's got 7th easiest matchup versus position, just to let you know. Jacobs has got an easy matchup, but it's always suspect starting people coming off injuries, banged up, suspect. But Jacobs does have an easy matchup. Look for Drake to be a pest there, as he usually is. Alvin Kamara, great matchup, definitely a start this week. David Johnson, again, Ingram is gone. He seems to be getting the workload. Had a terrible game last time he played. It was like 1 point. But David Johnson does have a good matchup versus Miami. He better do something. Dearness Johnson, you may want to consider starting him, especially for DFS. He got a touchdown last week. Outperformed Nick Chubb 10 points to 8 points. Nick Chubb, again, completely a bust on his position. And I warned you, Nick Chubb, man. If they play by committee, if there's Kareem Hunt there, there's going to be a problem. Now there's Dearness Johnson there. Still a problem. You would think that Kareem Hunt's gone, Nick Chubb would get that full volume. He's not. He's just not getting that full volume. And I told you, he's not that good. Like, he's a good pure runner, but he's not good in the passing game. So they like to mix things up. Naji Harris, mid-range matchup. I'm going to be starting him, obviously. It's Naji Harris. He gets the volume. Tougher matchups. James Robinson's banged up. I'm going to check out see if he's playing or not. If not, Carlos Hyde. If you start him, he's got it in tough versus Buffalo. Good luck. Cordell Patterson, who's been pretty much solid all year. 4th hardest matchup versus position. Damien Harris, tough matchup as well, coming off a 14-point week last week, 28 points the week before. Been pretty solid all season. Damien Harris, not bad for a Patriots running back. Got it in tough this week. Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, they've got it in tough as well versus Dallas's rush defense. Let me see if there's anyone else who's got it really tough. Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon's got it tough if you got him. 9th hardest matchup versus position against Cleveland, but we've seen other running backs do well versus Cleveland's rush defense. And Darrell Henderson, 10th hardest versus position versus Tennessee. And again, I don't want to say sit. I just say tough matchup versus position, okay? Zeke Elliott, also 12th hardest versus position. Something to think about if you are starting Zeke Elliott. He doesn't have a walk in the park versus Denver's rush defense. Something to be aware of, okay? Again, if you're torn between who to start and sit, what I usually do is I take a look at the matchup, and I'm helping you guys with the matchup. Then I take a look at how consistent they are, okay? Past couple weeks, how well have they been? Another thing is I look at the committee, then I look at the volume, and then at the end of the day, after I've assessed all of the, the depth chart, the volume, the opportunity, the matchup, and all that information, how consistent they are, how they feel, injuries, all that, then I go with gut feeling. If I'm torn between two players, you got to go with your gut feeling if they're very, very close. Okay, that's kind of the tip and the practical strategy on how to help you guys with your starts and sits. All right, guys. All right, let's move on here. Cooper Kupp, great matchup versus position. Definitely a start anyway. God, who's going to sit Cooper Kupp? Best player in fantasy right now. Stephon Diggs, great matchup. Deontay Johnson, great matchup. Definitely a start. Robert Woods, great matchup. Brandon Cooks versus Miami, great matchup. Marquise Brown, great matchup. Been pretty good the past couple weeks. Cortland Sutton, great matchup. Jalen Waddle, great matchup. Cole Beasley versus Jacksonville, phenomenal matchup. Devontae Parker had a good 17-pointer last time he played. Good matchup. Jerry Jeudy, if you're wondering to start him, he does have a good matchup, okay? 7th easiest versus position. Something to keep in mind. Nico Collins, if you guys have him, you know, he's got a good matchup. 2nd easiest versus position. They're playing Miami, but, you know, he hasn't been... a 10-pointer was like his peak game. Deebo Samuel, mid-range, you got to start him, obviously. A lot of people ask about Justin Jefferson and Thielen. 10th hardest matchup versus position. Now we're talking guys that got it in a little bit tough. Devontae Smith got it in a bit tough. He's had a slow start. I see a lot of modeling pictures from Devontae Smith trying to earn the buck, but you got to put it out on the field first before you go think you can make all this money, right? Kenny Gallaudet, he's been banged up. I mean, I don't even know if he's playing this week. I got to take a look. I always check injuries the day before, but Giants wide receivers do have it in tough, okay? Kadarius Toney, you know, they've got it in tough versus the Raiders secondary, okay? Mike Williams, he's been like ice cold the past 2 games they played. Tough matchup, 4th hardest versus position. Him and Keenan Allen got it in tough versus Philly's secondary there, okay? Something to be aware of. Other guys that got it in tough, Tyreek Hill, coming off a good game last week, or last time they played, 7th hardest matchup versus position. Be aware of that. A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry's gone, okay? So obviously they're going to throw more, right? But be aware. A.J. Brown had a good week last week. He does have it in tough against Los Angeles Rams. Be careful there. DeAndre Hopkins, relatively inconsistent, had a 9-pointer last time he played. Got in tough versus San Fran. We know Kyler Murray, if he plays, spreads the ball around, okay? So it's going to be either him, Moore, or Kirk. We don't know. Rondell Moore has been on a cold streak, 5 points, 4 points, 6 points the last 3 games. Very terrible there by Rondell Moore. A lot of people got high on him and excited about him early in the season. Nothing to get excited about at all. Again, Adam Thielen, Jefferson, like I said, 10th hardest matchup versus position. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. CeeDee Lamb, I think, is banged up. So is Cooper. All wide receivers from Dallas have it in tough this week, so be aware there. And of course, Dak is a little banged up too and suspect. All right. And again, since we're talking wide receivers, Odell Beckham Jr., I believe he got released by Cleveland. We're going to see where he ends up. People are asking me, I don't know if they're trolling me, is he worth a bench spot? No. Odell, no. You do not have Odell on your roster. He's done. He was done 5 years ago, okay? No Odell. I don't care how he does. It's been 5 years. People have been trying to sell you on him. He's not good, okay? All right, let's go to tight end here, and I'll give you some defenses to start if you need to stream one. Mike Gesicki, great matchup. Dallas Goedert, great matchup. Jared Cook, great matchup. Tyler Conklin, Jordan Akins. If you need a tight end with a great matchup versus Miami, Jordan Akins could get some work this week, okay? Dawson Knox, great matchup. Let me see if there's anyone else here that might be worth mentioning. I mean, those are the guys with the good match. Let me give you guys some tough matchups, some just to be aware of. Pat Freiermuth had a 14-pointer last week. Got in tough versus Chicago. Kyle Pitts, I know he's been kind of heating up. He had a bad week last week he played, but he has been heating up. Calvin Ridley is gone. Tough matchup. 3rd hardest position versus New Orleans. They tend to play tight ends a little bit tougher. I'm going to be starting Kyle Pitts, but he's got it in tough. But volume should supersede that for you guys. Mark Andrews had an 8-pointer last time he played. Tough matchup. 6th hardest versus position, but he's a volume guy. He's going to get that volume from Lamar. Now, Lamar is starting to use his wide receivers more, but I'm only imagining Mark Andrews eats. But he does have a 6th hardest matchup versus position, something to be aware of, okay? Cole Kmet, he's had a couple of safe games. He's got the 11th hardest matchup versus position, something to be aware of. If you're looking at Austin Hooper or any Cleveland tight end like David Njoku, they've got it in tough as well. Dan Arnold, who had a 15-pointer last week. Jacksonville versus Buffalo, it is a tough matchup. Dan Arnold could have it tough, but he seems to be getting some volume. He may get a touchdown here and there, okay? So those are your tight ends. Again, if you need a tight end, just start your starter, and you need 10 points to get your 10 points. Let's take a look at some amazing matchups at defense here. We got Buffalo Bills like the matchup here versus Jacksonville. Steelers like the matchup versus Chicago. Dolphins like the matchup versus Houston. Saints could be, it is a good matchup, but be careful. Matt Ryan could tear it up. Packers versus KC. The way KC's been playing, Packers do have a good matchup, but you never know. I mean, KC's turning the ball over a lot. I think they're like leading in turnovers. It's crazy. But just take a look at that matchup. If you have the Packers, you know, it's Pat Mahomes. He could come back and tear it up. Just be a little cautious, okay? Houston versus Miami, also a good matchup. Patriots versus Carolina. Cowboys versus Denver. Panthers versus New England. All relatively good matchups. And an honorable mention is Raiders versus the Giants. Also could be a good matchup there for you guys, all right? So, I mean, it's week 9. I mean, how crazy is that? At this point, you got to make sure you're starting to sit the right person, and hopefully this helps based on matchups for you, because every roster is different, every situation is different, every player is different, every fantasy player is different. You got to be able to adjust and adapt and make sure you make the right decisions every single week. All right, guys? All right, I got to roll out. Again, manscaped.com, shower line. Go treat yourself some underwear, ball wipes, shampoo, conditioner, all that fun stuff. Manscaped.com. Go head on over there right now. Shower line's the code. Subscribe, thumbs up, and we go year round. I'm out.